Welcome to Divine Couples. Your host, Naomi Slater, will awaken your passion, deepen your intimacy, and invite healing into your relationships, working towards accessing higher levels of consciousness in all areas of your life. Come with us on this journey to explore and experience your fullest potential.
You are listening to Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind and soul. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Naomi Slater, and you have tuned in to Divine Couples, adding intimacy, passion, and healing to your lives. NATALIE KWAIT is an intuitive healer and self-relationship spiritual mentor. She holds an MA in special education, along with being a certified One Light Healing Touch practitioner, sound healer, and has studied multiple healing modalities over the past 2 decades. One of her greatest tools is being able to recognize what your soul is specifically asking for in order to heal. She has taught self-empowerment hands-on workshops to children and adults in Bali, Thailand, Guatemala, Portugal, Spain, Florida, California, and New York. NATALIE brings her passionate heart and her ability to pinpoint what your inner child is seeking to receive with clients ranging from children to adults. She creates a safe container and mirror for you to feel your emotions while expressing your unique truth. She is here to help assist you in becoming your own best mother and greatest healer to yourself to live your most fulfilling life. NATALIE teaches you to trust your intuition and honor your voice as you break free from beliefs and patterns which prevent you from claiming your power. It's so great to have you on Divine Couples, NATALIE. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me here today.
My pleasure. So NATALIE, you're a somatic intuitive healer. Can you explain to us what that means?
Sure, absolutely. So I've been an intuitive all of my life, and throughout my life, I've seen that the way to truly heal and to bring all of the pieces of yourself back together comes through tapping into your body's truth, your body's fullest expression of who you are. And somatic healing means really working with the unresolved pieces of yourself, the stuck areas within your body, and being able to acknowledge and feel everything that sits inside of you. So I combined as a somatic intuitive healer, my big area of focus is helping people to work through the trauma, the repressed emotions that live inside of our bodies when our bodies don't know how to express themselves, how to really dive into this work. And so I create a sacred container for people to do this.
That's amazing. So I know you're using different modalities. I know you use sound healing, inner child healing, neuro-linguistic programming, and accessing Akashic Records, among other tools. Can you explain more about what you're actually doing?
Sure. So when I work with my clients, I slow the whole purpose of getting together is for them to be able to listen to themselves and for them to be able to slow their nervous systems down. So I have this bucket full of different tools because everyone needs an assortment of things in order for them to be able to receive themselves. So it can't just be that, you're going to use one tool and that's the be all end all, because it is about evolving with people as they find their selves being more and more comfortable in their bodies, going back to that somatic approach. So when I work with my clients, because I have these different tools, I'm really I'm walking them through a journey. Right? I'm walking them through a journey where they're starting to tap into all of the support that they have around them, such as using the Akashic Records, connecting them to their ancestors, connecting them to their teachers, connecting them to all relations, so that then they can start to see the themes that they really want to dive into, so that they can free themselves of their pain, so that they can free themselves of the war that lives inside of them, so that
Yeah.
they can really find their truth, their sacred truth. So I like to use these different tools, and each time we work together, it's not I I want them. I really set up a space where it's not really actually me wanting them to do it, but they start to want it from themselves, to like, oh, I need this. Oh, like this is actually
Mm-hmm.
now I'm starting to see through doing this inner child healing that I'm ready to tap into more of my intuition, tap into connecting with my ancestors. So it's like
Mm.
each person has their own kind of customized way of approaching healing.
That is so amazing. Can you explain a bit more about these Akashic records? What does that mean? What are you tapping into when you're accessing the Akashic records?
Okay, sure. So we all are part of this universe. And basically, when you work with the Akashic records, you're essentially opening up your cabinet, your file cabinet in a library
Hmm.
of all connections, all encounters that you've ever had. So it basically gives you access to endless information about you, which is so empowering as an adult, or
Hmm.
even as as an adult for their child as well, because I work oftentimes with mothers that are supporting their children,
Hmm.
to really start to understand where these programs, these belief systems come from. So when we open up the records, basically I put your name into a prayer, into an invocation, and this invocation is just for you. It's only your records. So through doing so, we start to receive, just like I said, it's like there is no um there's nothing else that I have found that will just, it's like you once you open up the can of worms, it's like it just keeps coming and coming. There's just so much information
Yeah.
there that it's almost like out of our hands, which I love, because I really want to teach people how to surrender to the information that's here, right? Like we don't have control over it. So it really gives you that, it's like, how much can you surrender to this higher knowing, to your higher consciousness? It's like there's so much here for you, but are you willing to receive it?
Hmm.
And
So
that's
I
something
have
I
to
found. Yeah.
No, I just have to mention, because I received a treatment from you, and it was the most incredible experience, and it really reconfirmed so many thoughts and emotions that were kind of floating around inside of me. But there was a part of me that really needed the outside confirmation and legitimization. And when I worked with you, I received that in a very, very deep way, and I really feel like it changed the course of my life in many ways. So for me, working with you was really transformational.
Hmm.
And yeah, and I mean, I know what I experienced, but what are some of the transformations that you see in your clients after working with you?
Mm. Um, what I see in my clients after us working together, we go on a journey, usually between 3 to 6 months, sometimes even longer, depending. And I just see an unstoppable energy force in my clients. I see them just shining their light. I see them doing what brings them joy. I see them
Mm,
so tapped in to their knowing. I see them just really getting like into this place of like, gosh, like I trust myself. I know I can receive my gifts. I know that my mess is here to be my message. Like it's like people really um
they're
I
able to
see
tap
them,
in.
yeah, I see them tapping in, and I see them starting to be able to utilize these resources within themselves. So to me, it's like the greatest gift for me to watch people, really
Mm.
break free from their critical mind and learn how to step into their body, how to trust their
Mm.
body, how to feel their feels, and use those feels to help to heal themselves.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
yeah, yeah,
So
it brings
beautiful.
me lots of joy.
So in addition to working with adults, which I know you do a lot of, you're also very gifted in working with children. And I want to ask you, how can children benefit from working with you?
Mm, okay. So every child comes into this world with gifts, and sometimes children don't always know how to express themselves. Sometimes they're still holding on to beliefs that they came into this world with from their ancestors. And so I really, when I work with children, because I'm so, one of my gifts is being able to see and hear and feel what's coming through their bodies. Like I can actually read their body language and
Mm.
feel into the stuck emotions that live inside of them, the places where they're just like, don't you understand me? And so I help children to feel like they're really understood. And I also help them to be able to own their confidence and like really be able to like stand in their light and be that much more comfortable navigating through their own personal challenges, learning how to become best friends with your anxiety, learning how to maneuver through the pieces of yourself that just are not so easy. So I really teach them
Mm.
how to move through their own pieces of themselves that just don't necessarily come so like, oh, this is just easy. And I help them to make more peace within themselves.
Mm.
And in doing so, they walk away feeling so much more connected and grounded and clear in who they are.
Mm. Oh, that's incredible. Do you do you recognize children that you feel like you need to work with, or is it kind of more through the parent, like you recognize that a parent is struggling? How do you
Mm,
navigate that? Because that can
mm.
be kind of a touchy subject.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep, I
Um,
know.
I uh, I oftentimes I do recognize children. I do just start to feel like their spirits will just like they'll come to me. Like they will just
Yeah.
literally come to me. Like I'll be guided to go on a walk or go to a specific event or go connect with a family.
Mm-hmm.
It's like literally I'm drawn to the children on this planet that are here as the healers, that are here. Oh, it just brings me to tears. Like my heart is literally, it just draws me to them. So that's for sure true. But then on top of that, oftentimes the mothers that I work with, I primarily work with mothers, but I also work with individuals as well. The mothers that I
Mm.
work with, I oftentimes it's not necessarily that they're coming to me specifically for their children, but
Mm.
I, because of how I work with people and I really gather everything about them, like I really want to like, I don't want to leave anything behind. And so I will pick up on what's going on in these relationships with their children, and I will pick up
Yeah.
on specific things that, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Naomi, I told
I
you years
do.
ago when we yeah, like I will just, it's just like I get these knowings and I check in. I always ask spirit first, like, is it okay for me to bring this up with a parent? Like, like, is
Mm.
this parent um open to
Open
receiving
to
this
receiving.
guidance now? That's the key. That is the key,
Yeah.
because it's all
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
meeting. You can stretch somebody, you can work with a parent, stretch them, but you need to really tap into that because there's always a time and a place.
Yeah.